Welcome back to the deep dive. Um, Ever been stuck in one of those negotiation deadlocks?
Oh, yeah.
Where it feels like two sides just totally unyielding, and everyone's convinced that any gain for one side has to be a loss for the other.
Absolutely. It's that zero-sum thinking, right? So frustrating.
So common, too.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a huge business deal or, I don't know, just figuring out where to get dinner.
Well, what if I told you that breaking that deadlock, maybe even, winning, actually involves doing something most people kind of shy away from?
Which is,
Strategic giving. Giving something up.
okay. So that's our deep dive today, then. We are unpacking this really crucial, but maybe often misunderstood idea in negotiation.
Concession.
Exactly. And we're pulling our insights pretty much directly from this really concise piece called The Art of Negotiation, Concede.
Right.
It really zeroes in on this whole concept.
Okay, so our mission here is to basically pull out the key bits, the vital nuggets, you could say, about how and why giving a little bit can actually help you get a lot more in the end. And maybe transform your whole approach to these discussions, where the stakes are high.
Definitely. So let's dig in. This source, it talks about how giving up points that aren't, let's say, essential to you can make a huge difference. What is it, psychologically speaking, that makes this work so well, even if the concession feels, well, small?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? It really taps into something really fundamental about how we interact as humans. It's the reciprocity principle.
Reciprocity.
Think of it like that natural urge we all have to return a favor, right? Someone does something nice for you, you feel like you should do something back. It's not just being polite, though. It's a really deep psychological driver. So when you make a concession, even if it seems minor to you, it activates this powerful sense of obligation in the other person.
Obligation. Interesting.
Yeah, like a subtle pressure almost to balance the scales. So they feel this pull to reciprocate, and often they'll do it on the things that actually really matter to you.
So, okay, it's not about being weak or just giving in. It's calculated. It's strategy.
Precisely.
The source really hammers this home, doesn't it? Give a little to get more. That's the core idea. But, okay, this leads to the really tricky part, I think. How do you actually figure out what's secondary for you and what's truly fundamental? What can't you give up?
That distinction is, well, it's everything, really. The
Right.
text is super explicit about this. It says, never concede on what's fundamental, period.
Okay.
So that tells you right there, negotiation strategy is also about knowing which hills you absolutely have to die on and which ones you don't.
Can you give us like a quick example how that might look?
Sure. Let's say you're negotiating a job offer. Your core thing might be the salary. You have a number you need.
Good.
But maybe a secondary point could be, I don't know, the exact start date. Or maybe the official job title, perhaps. You wouldn't budge on the salary you need, right? That's fundamental. But you might offer some flexibility on when you start. Maybe push it back a week or start a week earlier to show goodwill.
I see. So you give on the date to hopefully get salary.
Exactly. It's about having crystal clarity on your priorities before you even walk into the room. It's not about weakening your position. It's strategic. You're building goodwill. You're creating an incentive for them to meet you on your fundamental points.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But this brings up another point the source mentions, which I found really interesting. It's not just what you concede, but how you do it. Like if you give something up grudgingly, it could backfire.
Absolutely.
But a genuine gesture, that sincerity seems key. It makes the reciprocity thing feel much stronger, maybe creates more of a collaborative feeling.
You are spot on. Genuineness is critical.
So what happens if it doesn't come across as genuine? Does the reciprocity just weaken, or could it, like, totally blow up in your face?
Oh, it absolutely weakens it. And yes, it can definitely backfire. If they perceive your concession as just a tactic, a manipulation,
Right.
or maybe even a sign that you're desperate or weak, rather than making a good faith gesture, then you lose trust. That authenticity behind the concession is what really signals value and reinforces that sense of obligation.
Okay.
You're basically signaling, hey, I'm willing to work with you here, find common ground. And that encourages them to do the same. It builds a collaborative spirit, even if the negotiation itself is kind of competitive.
That tracks. So, okay, we know what to concede the secondary stuff. And how genuinely does the source give any clues about when is the best time to make that move? Or is timing less important?
Timing definitely matters. While the source doesn't lay it out like a step-by-step instruction manual, it implicitly suggests that making well-thought-out concessions relatively early on can be really powerful.
Early on. Why?
Well, it helps set a collaborative tone right from the start. It shows you're willing to be flexible, you're looking for solutions, not just digging your heels in immediately. Think of it as proactive generosity.
Okay, proactive versus reactive.
Exactly. Giving something up early and thoughtfully feels different than conceding something at the very last minute when you feel backed into a corner. That can seem desperate or forced.
Yeah, and make them wonder if they could have pushed you even further.
Right. It undermines the sincerity and maybe even your own assessment of your bottom line.
Fascinating. Okay, so given how effective this can be when done right, what are some common mistakes? Where do people usually trick up when they try to use concession as a strategy?
Several common pitfalls come to mind. A big one is simply not doing the prep work.
Like not knowing your priority.
Exactly. Going in without that clear map of what's fundamental versus what's secondary, that's probably mistake number one.
Yeah.
Another one is making a concession that the other side doesn't actually care much about.
Oh, right. So it has to be valuable to them.
Precisely. You might give up something that's low cost to you, which is good, but if it's also low value to them, it just doesn't trigger that reciprocity urge effectively. The sweet spot is low cost for you, high value for them.
Makes sense. Any others?
Yeah, sometimes people concede too much, too soon. They put concessions on the table without really giving the other side a chance to respond or reciprocate.
Leaving value on the table.
Exactly. Or it can make the other side feel like they didn't really earn it, which can, again, undermine the goodwill you were trying to build. It's a balance.
So, okay, wrapping this up then. After this deep dive, it seems pretty clear that concede isn't a bad word in negotiation at all.
Not at all. It's a tool, a precise one.
Yeah, a strategic lever in your toolkit.
Exactly right. And the power, the real magic, it lies in understanding and using that reciprocity principle. You're basically tapping into a core human tendency to guide the negotiation towards a better outcome.
Using what's less critical for you to unlock what really truly matters.
That's the essence of it.
And the big strategic takeaway really is, know it's secondary, offer it genuinely, but stand absolutely firm on your fundamentals. That's the art, isn't it?
Knowing which battles to pick and which points can be used strategically.
Yeah.
And remember, this isn't just for, massive corporate deals or international treaties.
Right, it applies everywhere.
Think about it day to day. Negotiating a new project scope at work, maybe, or planning a vacation with family. Even just deciding what movie to watch with friends tonight.
True. That principle applies across the board.
It's universal.
So here's something to think about as you head into your next negotiation, whatever it might be. How could consciously identifying your secondary points, figuring them out before you even start talking, how might that change the whole dynamic, the whole feel of the conversation, and maybe lead to a much better result for everyone involved?